It's Jeff McLeese, Gardening, Melbourne, Australia. I've got something that's going to shock you. I've decided to step down from the grind of full-time running my business, which I've been doing for 40 years in the gardening and landscaping work. So I am now transitioning what we call not full retirement, but semi-retirement. And this video, it will be a good tip for anybody in their 50s or 60s contemplating retirement in the near future. And even for you young people, I believe an exit plan to retire in the future is very important to plan as early as you can. In today's video, I'm going to go through the steps of how we worked out to go from full-time to semi-retirement. There's a few little tricks that we've employed, and it's the best decision I've ever made, and I should have made it years ago. I should have planned it years ago. So stay tuned and we'll work through it through this video. Now, back when I was a boy, when I first started work, most people retired when they were 65. And gee, there was a lot of people that didn't make 70. They only lasted a couple of years. That was back in the time. And of course, that meant that, retirement plans and all that type of thing wasn't as a priority as it is today. Like today, people are living into their 80s, their 90s. So they could be retired for 20 years, 25 years or more. That's a long time to be retired. And if you haven't got a plan, if you haven't got a journey to take, it's a hard thing, because a lot of people, apart from, like, the money's the biggest thing, isn't it? Like, if you're retired for that long, you're normally going to have to rely on your super if you've got enough, or the pension. And all you're doing, and it's like my mates, all they're doing is counting their pennies, because they retire with not a big superannuation, but they thought they were doing the right thing. And I see a lot of my mates go back to work because the financial thing has just killed them. And the other thing is about when you do retire, you lose that sense of worth, like waking up in the morning, having that purpose. It's funny, when I'm leaving my house in the morning to go to work, I pass a couple of the old guys that in the estate that I know. Their places are immaculate. The grass, there's not one blade of grass out of place. And you can see they're looking at me and they'll wave and they're thinking, and I know they've said, gee, I wish we could do what you're doing. And they've regretted not having something to do. And that's why it's important too, is to have hobbies, and we'll talk about that later. So the concept of a full-time retirement, it also affects your mental health. It affects your physical well-being as well, if you don't keep on track with it, if you don't keep active. And of course the financial aspect, running out of money. In our day we didn't have superannuation, so we've had to save, we've had to invest, but not enough to carry us to retire early. Some people are fortunate and have made some great decisions in their earlier days. And if you're young out there, do the very best research as you can about the retirement plans for financial needs. Going from full-time to semi-retirement, it's not an easy process. You've got to learn to adjust. You've got to learn to stop, to take on new work. It's lots of different things to retrain your mindset to that semi-retirement. And it is, look, it's easy to say, I don't have to get up anymore. We know all those stories, and it is nice for a while, but it does get to you. So I concentrated on three things to go from full-time to semi-retirement. So I am now in semi-retirement. It's a 3-day rule. I work 3 days. Now, the three philosophies are the customer, the pricing, and the equipment. Those three are going to help me go from full-time to semi-retirement. Now, the 3 days are not full days, are probably 4 hours, so there's 4 or 5 hours tops, 15 hours a week, plus every Saturday or every second Saturday, depending on the season, I've got my very lucrative commercials sitting on my backside on the new Hustler ride-on, which is going well, by the way, if anyone wants to know. So it's a dramatic drop, because I'm not traveling as much, because I'm not wearing my equipment out as much. The cost of running the business is not as much. Now, that means that I'm not losing a little bit. Of course, I'm losing a bit, but not to the extent that it's making me destitute. So with supplement from a bit of super and whatever, we're going to do all right. Eventually, I'll make that 3 days to 2 days, and we'll just over the next 5 or so years, we'll then gradually go down. So the key ingredients are the customer. I looked at all the customers. I worked out, all right, I've got 3 days each week. So I'm picking out my best customers, the ones that don't take too much to do. In other words, I'm in and out in 15, 20 minutes. Have a look at these, the little small lawns. You know, you can knock 3 of those over in an hour and earn a very good $80 lawns. How good is that? Also, have a look at these ones that I've got here, the lucrative mansions overlooking the lagoons. Not a lot of work, you know, probably an hour tops with a bit of gardening, monthly hedging. So I picked the cream of the cream when I've looked at all these jobs. So what it's done, it's allowed me to work smarter and not harder. I don't have to bust my butt anymore. No more big lawns, no more climbing ladders. I've got rid of all of those clients. So I've just got a core amount of clients. And by having less clients, there's no hassles, there's no stress. I'm not dealing with people changing schedules, and if it rains, I'm trying to work out how am I going to get the work done. It is so easy now, yet still making a good income. Now, to ensure that we make a good turnover is to concentrate on the second item, which is pricing. Very important, especially in your senior years, when you're transitioning to semi-retirement to retirement, is having that pricing spot on. Having that pricing, ensuring that you're covering your costs of running your business, and also that you're making a nice little profit. So it's an important thing to continually update your customer base as far as your pricing. No one's pushed back. Straight away, I'll put all the prices up. Nobody's pushed back because they're all good customers. You know, some of them 40 years I've had, so they value my worth. So it was important to maintain that. And the third one is the equipment. And I'm going to get out of the vehicle. I'm going to show you my setup, just a brief setup, but it's important how this matches in. Now the third thing is the equipment. I run battery equipment and I run a ute. Why I do that is less stress, less effort, and so much easier on the old bones. So I'll do a quick walk around with the ute and the equipment and explain what's going on. So I use a ute. You could use a van, pull up in driveways, no trouble with parking. All battery. I use all battery now, including the mower. I'll do a ute setup in the next video, if there's anyone interested. All battery mower, 26 calorie, nice and light, not fully commercial. Does me because I only do small lawns. If I was doing full time, 6 days a week mowing, I'd definitely go for a Crest or a Greenworks or an Ego, a lot bigger unit. But this thing's so light, easy to use. The whip, I've got the dedicated power, the edger, and also the pole hedger. In the toolbox I've got the blowers, the electric, and all the batteries, and all set up. So I'll do a proper ute one later on. But the ease of running the business using a ute is so much, it's so reliable. I don't have to, trying to back in or with a trailer, and it's really, really good. So, look, everything's locked. I know people say, "Oh, but you're getting that stuff knocked off." Look, racking system, everything's locked up. I've got locks for the mowers. If someone pinches it, tell the insurance company I'm insured. Get the money in the bank next day. So those 3 items really make it easy to transition to semi-retirement. So I'm finding it really easy. Took me a little time to get used to it, but really happy about it now. The big thing is I did feel a bit guilty because I've been working for 40 years doing it, and I did feel a bit guilty not going to work some days. But yeah, I know I'm an idiot, but I've got used to it now, and it's just a fantastic lifestyle now. And it's easy to control, I found, because if we wanted to go overseas, we wanted to go away for a month, it's easy to palm out those jobs with a lot of contractors that I know to keep my business going while I'm away. It's not as if I have a full-scale business to operate. So semi-retirement can be done for quite a few years, and as of course make quite a few dollars to supplement your super or whatever other income source that you may have, or even if you haven't, at least you're going to do quite well out of it. All right, viewers, that's how I've done it. I really recommend that you develop an exit plan, especially if you're in your 50s, 60s. You should start really thinking now. If you're younger, of course, get into that super, get into those investments. But please think about the exit. You might decide to change careers, but it's important that you have an exit plan. Just to stop, you leave a lot of money on the table. You can make a lot of mistakes. So if you do it with a plan and think about how you're going to do it, and probably all do it differently, it'll make it so much easier. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please, what's your comments? What are your thoughts? Are you just going to stop and move on, or what have you done if you are retired, or what are your thoughts when you're going to retire? Please share and like, and we'll see you on the next video.